Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be testing out the new CoverGirl Full Spectrum line designed with multicultural women in mind. And CoverGirl was kind enough to send me a huge PR package with tons of new products in it, so I figured I would sit down and try it all out with you guys, unbox it, swatch it, and try it on my face. My full face is of CoverGirl, so you guys will see how I applied the products. You will see lip swatches, you will see my opinions, you will see products that I loved and that I hated. So if you guys want to see me test out the new Full Spectrum line, then just keep on watching. So I'm going to read you what it says. It says, Full Spectrum CoverGirl, no ashy highlighters, chalky eyeshadows, or too light lipsticks in sight. New Full Spectrum CoverGirl collection brings out our truest tones with velvety matte concealers and foundations to choose from, as well as high pigmented eyeshadows, lipsticks, and blushes that pop against any skin tone. Designed specifically with multicultural women in mind, we set out to create a line of seriously pigmented colors like no other. So first we have the Color Idol Satin Lipstick. I was sent 4 shades, and I have the shades Prodigy, Marooned, Charms, and Mad Money. So I am going to swatch those on my hand for you so you guys can see. So here are the lip swatches. So first we have Marooned. Please ignore my finger that I swiped through this shade. We have Marooned, which is a very pretty terracotta shade. It's a very pretty red. And then we have Prodigy. It's more silvery gold. In the packaging, it kind of almost has like a little bit of like a maroon. It looks like a very metallic nude. Not my favorite. I definitely would not wear this shade, but it is very pretty. Then we have Charms, and the green shade is Mad Money. So very pretty. They are super creamy. They look like a very hydrating formula. All right, now that I'm done with the lipsticks, I'm going to move on to the Gloss Idol lip glosses. So I have 3 shades here. So this is going to be a very thick, sticky gloss. Okay, so here are the 3 shades on the back of my hand. First of all, we have Vino. Then we have Believe Me. And then we have Nuance. I'm moving on to the Matte Idol Liquid Lipsticks. Very matte, glides on, super pigmented. So here we have Tyrant, Fortune, and Ace. So as you can see just by the swatches, these 2 shades look like they would need a lot of work to be super pigmented and to not be patchy on the lips. All right, now we are moving on to eyes. So we have the So Saturated 8 eyeshadow palette and the Defining Moment All Day eyeliners. So the Defining Moments All Day eyeliners. Okay, so we have 5 colors in the All Day Defining eyeliner. So this is the black. They're very creamy, just a very creamy kohl eyeliner. That is a very metallic-y, like Kermit the Frog type green. And then we have a yellow gold, which is very shimmery, but still very pretty. I just don't know how well the green and the yellow are gonna show up on darker skin tones. And then we have this purple. This purple is actually really pretty. It's like a purpley, it's almost like a purpley black with flecks of bright purple in it. Now that is a very pigmented silver. I think they look pretty good. We have 4 palettes here. We have the Full Spectrum CoverGirl. This is the Posh Chic, which is a lot of purples and maroon shades. The next one we have is Reverence. And this is a lot of browns and golds. Okay, and then the next one we have is the Gravity palette, which has a lot of bright colors. And this one is the brightest one of the bunch, which is the Zodiac palette. We have kind of every color in the rainbow here. We have blue, purples, pinks, greens. We have some golds. We have some bronzy colors. And we have a nice inner corner highlight shade as well. So this is a very pretty palette. Now we're moving on to the star of the show, the face. This is a very big box. So in the face section, I'm gonna read you my little card. It says that we have the All Day Idol Brightening Concealer. We have Sculpting Expert Multi-Use Cheek Palette, Matte Ambition Mattifying Skin Primer in SPF 20, and Contour and Correct Expert Versatile Cream Palette. Let's dig in. So first we have the Full Spectrum CoverGirl Matte Ambition. This is the mattifying skin primer with sunscreen SPF 20. I think that it's amazing that you created a primer for multicultural women with SPF in it. Now, whether or not this will make us look like Flashback Mary is another question, but I think it's really good. It's really important for all skin types to wear sunscreen. So we have a list of concealers, and I'm gonna swatch them all for you because I know how much of a pain it is to find your correct shade. I'm not gonna lie, that the last concealer that CoverGirl sent me, I was not a fan of. It was just, to be blunt, straight trash. As you guys know, I have deep set under eyes. It's just hereditary, it's just how I am, it's just how I was born. But I like to wear a very full coverage concealer to hide these puppies, and that concealer was barely even sheer. It was just weird. It was weird. They need to take that one back and reevaluate it. All right, so here are all of the concealer shades, and we're going to start from my wrist, from the lightest shade and move up. And we have light medium neutral, medium tan golden, tan cool, tan deep golden, and deep cool. This one would probably work for me underneath my eyes, like any of these shades, but again, I'm on the lighter spectrum of the multicultural scale, so if the majority is the lights, I feel like they should have had more colors. That's just my personal opinion. So I was sent the Full Spectrum Contour and Correct Expert. This is the Versatile Cream Palette. Let's open this puppy and see what we got. All right, so here is my swatch arm. So we have our first row, and then we have our second row. And so we have a really dark shade in here. We have a few different shades. I think this is a pretty diverse palette, but again, most of these would work on my skin tone. I feel like only a few of these would work on darker skin tones than mine. So that's just my personal opinion. I feel like we have a pretty diverse range, but maybe they want to add in a few darker items as well. Now we're moving on to the Expert Sculpt cheek palettes, and I have 3 shades here. Here are the 3. It's really hard for me to tell by looking at a blush if it's going to show up pigmented or not. I have to actually try it on my cheeks to see if I'm actually going to like it. So this is this palette. Very shimmery, metallic-y, a little powdery, but pretty shades. The one looks very similar to NARS Orgasm. And then we also have in Bronze Flame. The second palette, this bronze color is very pretty. And then the last palette that we have is the Rose palette. And here we have the Rose palette. So very pretty, very pigmented, very bright, bold colors. I like that. All right, now we have the CoverGirl Full Spectrum. These are the Matte Ambition All Day Powder Foundations. I love a good powder foundation. These two look to be the darkest in the palette. I don't know how that's gonna work. In my opinion, I don't think it's dark enough. And then we have the foundation shades. I will list up here how many shades there are. I'm not gonna swatch them all because I'll probably do a giveaway. I'm obviously not going to use all of these products, so I'm not going to waste them all. All right, so now that the unboxing portion is done, I am going to show you a full face of CoverGirl, and we're going to try all of these products out. So let's jump right into that. Okay, so now I'm going to be using the Matte Ambition All Day Shine Free Foundation. And I am in the shade Tan Cool. I matched it to my neck, so let's see if this doesn't do me dirty. This foundation is a new transfer-resistant longwear formula with buildable coverage to hide pores, imperfections, and keep shine controlled all day. Offers a natural matte finish. I just put 2 pumps on my face, and I feel like that literally did nothing. Like when I'm looking in the mirror, it just doesn't look like I have anything on, but that also might be because it's such a good match for me and I don't usually find good matches at the drugstore. So I'm just going to put some more on and see how this goes. I'm just going to pounce it over my areas that I need more coverage like I usually do. It's not bad. You can still see some of my imperfections peeking through, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I do prefer a full coverage foundation, but I'm not opposed to a more natural foundation. This foundation would be really good for every day, I feel like. Now let's move on to concealer. I'm going to be taking the lightest shade. It was on the floor, and I'm just going to be putting this underneath my eyes. Not bad. I thought it was going to be really sheer by the consistency, so it's really not that bad. I just like really hydrated under eyes, so I'm going to go back over it. Now I'm going to set my under eyes like I normally do, and we will see. This concealer is definitely a light to medium coverage. Again, I am a full coverage under eye concealer girl, but this is not bad for what it is. If you don't have under eye bags, if you're just looking for something to brighten underneath your eyes, then this concealer would probably be perfect for you. Now I am going to move on to contouring, and I'm going to use the Full Spectrum Contour Palette. I'm going to take the darkest shade and buff it into my hairline like I usually do. This is definitely more stiff than I thought it was going to be actually working with it, because when I swatched it on my hand, it was very light and creamy, and when I'm blending it out, it's almost kind of sticking to the foundation and dragging almost. Yeah, this contour on my cheek is super patchy, and this is just like pulling up all of the foundation, which I do not want it to pull it up because it barely covered in the first place. So it's hard to work with. It's almost like dragging and not working with the foundation very well. So I don't know. And the more I look at my eyes, the more I'm like, didn't cover at all. Now we are going to move on to powder, and I'm going to be using the light medium golden shade, which is this right here, and I'm going to set my whole entire face. Brush right here. By setting my whole face, I'm hoping that it kind of blends in. Like, what is happening here? Do you see how this is showing up? It literally is like a hole in my foundation. What the heck? Yeah, that contour palette, that dark shade was just a no from me. An absolute no. Now I'm going to take this bronze color, which is super pigmented and has a lot of fallout, like it's all over my lap right now. And I'm going to use this to bronze up my face. Okay, so this bronzer really isn't bad. Let's see how it works on the cheeks. So this bronzer kind of made up for that contour. This bronzer is really nice, blends out really well. It's a nice color, just gives a nice glow, and this I feel like would work on people darker than me. This would also work on me in the summer, but it's very like powdery. Like I don't know if you can see the powder falling onto my hand right there, but it's very, this blush right here, which is very similar to the NARS Orgasm. Just place it right. So this is kind of like a blush and highlight all in one. I really like the bronzer. I like the blush. The only thing is that my cheeks now look muddy because of the complicated contour base that we have underneath there. It is what it is, but you guys are seeing firsthand how these things work, and I'm trying to be completely unbiased and just give you my honest opinion. I'm going to go back into that bronze palette, and I'm going to take this goldy shade right here and place this, ooh, this is very pigmented on the high points of my cheek. Now that is a nice highlighter. Again, very pigmented. Like I just tapped the jar. I didn't even swirl my brush, literally just tapped it, and this is the pigmentation that I got. I do need to do my brows, but I would use the CoverGirl. I love the CoverGirl brow pencil. It's like amazing, but I'm out and I haven't had a chance to pick up a refill at the store. Now I'm going to be using the Reverence palette on my eyes, and I am going to use, this brush is just dyed, by the way. Like, I'm never using pink again because it dyed my eyelids for like a solid week, and then it dyed these brushes. But anyways, I digress. So I am going to go into this nice brown shade in the middle. This is very me. It looks like a transition shade that I would use, and I'm just going to place that into my crease. Now, I don't know if you can see, but again, there's a lot of fallout, but we're gonna work with it. Well, that blends really nicely. Now I am going to go in with this cooler brown shade right here, and I'm going to go right back into the crease. And take it down in the outer corner. Honestly, I'm really shocked by this eyeshadow palette, but as you can see, it has a lot of fallout. But the shades blend really well on the eye, so I mean, this is a drugstore palette. Let's take everything with a grain of salt. And now I'm going to take a BH Cosmetics number 8 brush, and I'm going to take this bronzy shade right here, and I'm going to pack that all over the lid. Now I'm going to go into this shade right here and blend everything out even further. Now I am going to go in underneath my eyes, and I'm going to use this dark shade right here with a Sigma tiny little, I don't even know what this is called, and then I'm going to just blend the fallout out. I'm going to be using the new CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. My eyelashes are so small because I had lash extensions for so long, but I'm so glad they're off. Alright guys, so I have tried out all of the new full spectrum line, and I'm going to tell you my favorites and products that were just a sheer miss for me. Alright, so first product that I loved was the eyeshadow palette that I used. As you can see, it just like really blended out nicely. It's a nice staple everyday palette. You can glam it up, you can glam it down, you can use it for every day. This is perfect for a variety of different skin tones, and it's very natural. I love it. I love a good warm brown, and so this is the palette that I loved. It blended out really nicely on the eyes. The only negative I have to say about this is that it's very, very powdery. Like, you are going to get fallout galore, so do not put on your outfit before you start using this palette, or just be aware of it and make sure you tap off the excess because you could get a lot of fallout on your face. But if you know how to work with this, it's really pretty and blends out beautifully on the eyes. I was really, really impressed with this. The second palette that I really liked was the bronze palette. The bronzer shade was really, really nice, complemented my skin tone really well, and it blended very nicely. Again, you do get a lot of fallout with this, so just be careful. The highlighters are amazing, so pigmented, and they just look amazing. I really liked the highlighters, really liked this bronzer. I thought it looked really good on the skin. So I loved the reds in this lip collection. I loved the matte red liquid lipstick, and I loved the red lip gloss. I have them on my lips right now. I think it's very pretty. I loved all of the lip products. They really surprised me. They were super pigmented, and they just feel really nice on the lips. I cannot tell you about longevity. I have not worn these out of my house, but just application and feel on the lips and how they look right off the bat is really beautiful to me and great for drugstore. So a complete miss for me was this concealer. I feel like only having 6 shades, it just wasn't enough. It kind of missed the mark for me, and my under eyes feel super, super dry. My under eyes never feel dry. As you can see, it doesn't give the best coverage. It's just not for me. Other product that completely missed the mark for me, as you can see, I was struggling to apply this, was this is the Full Spectrum Contour and Correct palette. Amazing idea. I think it was a really great concept, but just didn't blend out on my cheeks very well. So this unfortunately was a miss for me. Foundation itself was not my favorite. I like a full coverage foundation, or at least a medium to buildable foundation, so that I can build it up around my problem areas and sheer it out everywhere else that I don't need a lot of coverage. I didn't really feel like this was very buildable regardless of how much I put on, and I did apply it with a brush. It never really built up to a full coverage in any way, shape, or form. It does look pretty. The shades are amazing. I feel like this is a great shade match. So I think that they hit the mark there, but it's just not something that I would probably reach for. I feel like this foundation would be perfect for the girl who doesn't have very problematic skin, doesn't have a lot of hyperpigmentation, doesn't have a lot of acne, but just wants something nice and light to wear every day. I think that this foundation would be great for you. All right, guys, so that is the end of me testing out the CoverGirl Full Spectrum line. Please let me know your thoughts about the line, about the shades. All of your thoughts I want to hear down in the comment section. I love talking to you guys, and I definitely want to get your opinion on this line. Like, do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it was a good move for CoverGirl? Or do you think it kind of missed the mark? So please let me know down in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And if you guys enjoyed my testing out new products videos, then give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe, because I'm trying to upload new videos every single week. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.